Hello, Broken Arrow. I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. Thanks for joining me for the February 17th, 2021 update on winter weather operations. On behalf of all of the city administration, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to get the latest update. We've had a little bit of a break in the weather. I've got a few folks. Once again, we're coming to you by way of Microsoft Teams, so you can hear the latest from the directors that are directly involved with what's happening out there behind the scenes, making sure things get taken care of for our citizens and businesses. So let's jump right into the update. I'll start with our Emergency Management Director, Jamie Ott, to talk a little bit about the weather, where we're at, what we can expect the next couple of days. And he's also going to touch on what we know from PSO about the load shedding. So Jamie, what's happening?
Thank you, Mr. Spurgeon. So far, our weather situation, we will have our best thing is our winter weather is moving out of the area. The snowfall is completed for the day. We may see some snow flurries overnight in the morning, but there's no accumulation expected. And for tonight and in the morning, mostly temperatures in the single digits. Wind chill still going to be a factor there. But after that, we're heading into the weekend and we're looking at some warmer temperatures, which we're all looking forward to. We heard from our partners over at PSO. They have been their warning level as far as their load shedding and during the rolling blackouts. They have gone from a level 2 back down to a level 1, which the conservation measures that everyone's taken has really helped with this going forward. But as we're still into the single digit temperatures and the code, we're still in that critical mode of that we could be looking for rolling blackouts for the next 24 to 48 hours. So, but right now we're all doing real good on that.
Okay, Jamie, I want to thank you for your around the clock updates that you've given to the administration. We're very blessed to have you. I also want to send a shout out to Michael Gordon with PSO. We are getting constant emails and text messages from Michael with regard to the load shedding and whatever else is happening with PSO. So I know Michael will check this update out, and I'd just like to express our appreciation for our partnership with PSO and all the information they've been sharing. So let's move on to the Street and Stormwater Department, and also superstar Rocky Hinkle, the guy that's trying to beat Norm Stevens out for the most videos, to talk a little bit about street clearing of snow. What's happening, Rocky? We're a little punchy, folks, after 10 days, so trying to make light of things. So Rocky, what's happening?
Not much, sir. Thanks for having me. Although I will say Norm's got better hair than I do. As you mentioned, this is the 10th consecutive day that we have been in winter operations or snow and ice control. Today, Mother Nature is finally starting to cooperate. You see the sunshine out there. It's creating a lot of melting for us on our arterial roadways and collectors and bridges. We will continue to have a crew in here for a 12-hour shift. Their focus will be to plow the slush off the road. One thing that we are concerned about, as Jamie had mentioned, with the low temperatures tonight is the refreezing. So once we're able to clear all the arterial roadways, we will go through and salt all the intersections, bridges, hills, and do some spot treatments of arterial roadways. And then also, as Jamie mentioned, tomorrow, I think the weather's more in our favor moving forward to create better road conditions. So we're still plugging away at it, and hopefully it's behind us here in the near future.
Okay, Rocky, anything you need from the public? I always like to ask that. If there's something you need, let's put it out there.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention is just because you see dry pavement does not mean that it's not a slick spot. So, always still take precautions here for the next couple of days until the road is completely cleared of snow and completely dry.
Okay, thank you, Rocky. Please pass along to your team how much we appreciate all of their efforts. A lot of good feedback on social media about the work that we're doing, but we certainly want to make sure we always express our gratitude for working in some extreme temperatures. So thank you very much, Rocky. I appreciate that update. Okay, let's move to Assistant City Manager Kenny Schwab. He's going to talk a little bit about trash and also about our utilities. So Kenny, what's happening?
Well, the next phase for us starts tomorrow. Our solid waste and recycling pickup will actually begin on Thursday, the 18th. So if you have a Monday pickup, you will put it out tomorrow on Thursday, and then so forth. The schedule that we have put out on the social media and the schedule on the website is still what we're adhering to. Probably the most important thing to realize is we want to make sure that it's safe for our employees. So we're actually making sure that we're watching the wind chill and the temperatures and the recyclables. We're asking you, if you can, don't put those out tomorrow and hold those until next week, because if you put them out, we will pick them up, but we will not take them to the recyclable plant. We'll actually go to the waste energy plant with them. This will allow us to, if you will, kind of double up on our routes. What people probably don't realize, Michael, is on any given day, we pick up about 10,000 customers for trash alone and about 8,000 customers for recycling. So that's a total of about 18,000. Even though we only have 38,000, we go through and pick it up basically twice in that method. So tomorrow, we're actually going to put all of our crews on picking up the solid waste and taking it to the waste to energy plant. One thing to really know, if you're in a subdivision, please put your carts out in the street right there by the curb. That will help save us time. If we have to get out and walk into your drive up to the sidewalk to get the cart and carry it out, that takes more time for us, which gives us more exposure to the cold. So please make sure you have the carts out into your subdivision streets. Obviously, I don't believe we're picking up tomorrow on Elm, but from Elm to Houston to Washington, those people still have to put back behind the curb because you can't put it out on an arterial. So when we get to your section, just make sure you put it out in the street unless you can't. That's probably the biggest thing. The second thing, on the utilities, many of you who work in Tulsa, have friends in Tulsa or relatives in Tulsa, you may be seeing that they're having a substantial amount of water line breaks. Their system is quite a bit older than ours and bigger than ours. So they're actually having large mains break, and it's actually producing a lot of stress on their plants. Broken Arrow is not having that same problem. We're actually not taking any water from Tulsa right now. We typically don't take too much during the winter, so we've shut down any connection with Tulsa to help them out. We're not, conserving from our side, and we're running solely off our plant. We're still having water line breaks, Michael, but they're not the big water lines that you see in Tulsa. So right now we're running pretty well. We're watching our plant usage. If that changes, we will certainly let the public know.
Okay, Kenny, thank you very much. I really appreciate you mentioning both the trash and where we are. We're going to start tomorrow, and as well as the water, because there's a lot of emails flying around about the water consumption and how's that affect Broken Arrow. So I do want to send a shout out to the utility department for those breaks that they're out there fixing. They've got to work in those extreme temperatures. So we'll look for an update tomorrow on what's happening, Kenny. So thank you for your update. Okay, moving on, folks. Let's move to Broken Arrow's Chief of Police, Brandon Berryhill. Brandon, how you doing and what's happening? Anything to report?
Yeah, we're doing really good. First off, I want to give a shout out to the communications personnel in the 911 center. The first few days of this winter storm, they were just inundated with calls, and they did a great job of keeping up with that. And Steve Bradley, our manager in there, did a great job. Very proud of those folks. What we've seen really is motorist assists and animal cruelty calls are the biggest two things that we're seeing right now. So number one, if you're going to get out and you have to drive, make sure you're prepared. Keep warm clothing with you. You'd be surprised if you had a shovel and some kitty litter, you're going to be able to get yourself unstuck out of most situations. And so be prepared if you're going to get out. Those corners are really going to be the slickest spots we're seeing. Getting in and out of the neighborhoods is where I'm seeing people getting stuck the most often, because Rocky's done such a great job with the major streets. So be careful in and out of your neighborhoods. Also, the animal shelter's underneath the police department, and we want to remind people that you need to make preparations for your animals. They've got to have shelter. They've got to have water. Consider bringing them in temporarily if you can, but you need to make sure they're taken care of so we don't have to come out and investigate anything. So, but other than that, we're doing really well right now. We got about 65% of our fleet's four-wheel drive vehicles, so we handled the snow pretty well this year.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that update and everything that the public safety folks are doing for our community. So big shout out to all of them, especially the communications, Steve Bradley and our dispatchers. They do a great job. I'm very thankful for all that they're doing. Okay, moving on to, let's hear from Assistant City Manager of Administration, Norm Stevens. What's happening, Norm? Give us an update on a few things.
Thank you, boss. I had the opportunity earlier today to visit with Fire Chief Jeremy Moore. He is telling us that the call volume right now is low to normal. And to kind of give you an example of what we're talking about, They've been averaging around 40 calls per 24-hour period today. Yesterday, though, they had over 93 calls during a 24-hour period. They're responding to a variety of calls, but many are water pipes bursting. And one of the things that Chief Moore recommended is that you familiarize yourself with where your home or your business water cutoff is, so that if the thawing does start or if you do bust a pipe, you can get out and shut that off and minimize the damage to your structure. That's real important because we are seeing a lot of burst pipe in residential and business. One of the other things I wanted to talk about real briefly, and we're still very excited about this and will continue to be, as you know, City of Broken Arrow is partnering with the Passport Clinic to deliver COVID vaccines. We're doing it at the Public Safety Complex. Started out yesterday, and yesterday was a fantastic day. They administered over 151, or exactly 151 people were vaccinated yesterday. About noon today, Chief Moore reported that 70 additional people had been vaccinated, very, very few cancellations. We are continuing on with this tomorrow. Our streets and stormwater and our fire department are doing a remarkable job getting the public safety parking lot and entryway cleaned off so that those who are in phase one can take advantage of getting in there safely, get their shots, and be able to leave without fear of falling. That is kind of what's going on. Everybody on the fire department side is very excited about the warmer temperatures, as is everybody in the city.
That was a great video that Chief Moore did a couple of days ago talking about the number of calls and the slips and falls. So tomorrow's update, we'll coordinate getting Chief Moore to come on to give us an update of what's happening within the community. So that's great information, Norm. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move to Communications Manager Jennifer Sweezy. Jennifer, bring us up to speed on what's going on and what you'd like to share.
Good afternoon. Just a couple of reminders for our residents. We are continuing our daily updates in the evening on social media and our website. And we're getting a lot of questions through direct messages and comments. We're answering as many as we can. We did start late today at noon at city offices, so we've gotten some calls and emails. And just a reminder, our homepage for the city website is the best place to get all the information. It's brokenarrowok.gov. It has all the buttons for any kind of resources a resident would need. You can pay online for services, report non-emergency problems. You can access how to sign up for email updates and news alerts. We have our calendar. And one other resource that I want to remind folks about is our Action Center app. You can report non-emergency problems. You can search for that on your app store on your smartphone. It's Action Center Broken Arrow. And the great thing is on the homepage for that app, there are buttons for other resources. So it's a great handy way. Instead of looking for our website, you can just go to the app. You can get to our social media that way, our calendar, our phone number. There's a button you can call directly, pay your bills, and access city news. So a lot of good tips and resources there.
Okay, thanks, Jen. Let me ask Jamie if he'll talk a little bit about the warming stations that we have available to folks, if you will, please. Jamie, I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. We have our Central Park Community Center that's providing a warming center. They're 1500 South Main. So during normal operations hours, they will be open. So if you need to get in and out of the code, they'll have a facility and area there for you. We also still have First Christian Church down in South Elm that's still providing a warming shelter. And also if the need is there, they can help provide an overnight stay. And there's still several other warming centers around the city where churches have opened up their facilities for people to get out of the code.
Okay. If you know someone that needs to utilize one of the warming stations, they're available. We'll keep them available until such time as we feel that we're definitely on the backside of this severe winter weather. So that's about it, folks. I want to thank Norm, Kenny, Jennifer, Chief Barry Hill, Jamie, and Rocky Hinkle for the updates that they've given today. We'll come back to you tomorrow with another update. I just do want to say is that I basically decided to close or to open the building later for the safety of the city employees that have to travel. I apologize for the inconvenience it may have caused anyone. I just feel like growing up in the business, I always want the doors to be open, but I also want to make sure the employees can get here safely and get home safely. So hopefully you'll reach back out if you need something from us, and we'll be able to help you. Secondly, just continue to be winter, as Jamie always says, weather aware of what's going on, even though looks like the temperatures are starting to warm up. Still a lot of slick spots out there. When the sun goes down, it's going to turn to icy conditions, especially in the morning. Rocky's crews will be out, but let's just be winter aware and be careful. Give yourself plenty of space between cars and plenty of time to get where you need to go. Trash service starts tomorrow, so Kenny will come on tomorrow to give us an update on how the first day's going. But until then, as I've said the last couple of days, on behalf of the City Council and the administration, thank you for your patience and working with us as we get through this severe winter weather. So until tomorrow, stay safe. Be sure to check on your neighbors and family. God bless, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you.